Well, welcome back to another episode of the Blitz Break. I'm your host, Phil Rasmussen, and we are back with another episode. As always, joined by my partner in crime with the single worst pair of white tennis shoes to ever grace a TV screen that no matter how much I harass, he continues to bring back. Legendary Texan, longtime mortgage expert, and resident, all in all comedian Buzz Howard.
I think I wear these just because you hate them. I think it's my way of rebelling.
It's your double bird to me for
rebellion.
Challenging you.
It's right. Glad to be here.
You would have been a joy to coach. I would have found reverse psychology to get what I wanted out of you all the way across the board. Excited to bring today's guests on. A repeat guest for me coming on, joining me and Buzz here now from a couple episodes on the Triple J Sports podcast, Noel Felix, but also his more than significant other on her first appearance and joining us remotely, Shauna Felix and Noel Felix, the heads of Give Culture. Welcome to the show, you two.
Shauna's the brains of the operation. I just want to be clear.
And if we look this way, it's because we're looking at the television. We can see her here. And I guess online, it's all of us are on at the same time.
We are all on at the same time. See, Buzz still has a hard time with technology. It's a long therapy session.
It's almost as though she's here with us.
This is true.
I appreciate that. The feeling is
we joke about it all the time, Shauna. Noah, like that Buzz actually was on the Wells Fargo carriage that delivered the first loan across the country.
Wow.
And then he etched it in stone. And
we had to do it on a stone tablet, but it's okay.
We joke about it all the time, and people think I'm kidding, but I actually have the stone and the etch. And so it's a fact. It's going to go on a museum one day. So
good,
young and old, but really excited to have you two join the show.
Yeah.
Shauna, thanks for powering through the sickness here.
Okay.
I will choose not to take it personal that you couldn't stand to be in the room with me again for another hour and pretend that it's real.
I need my husband to not take it personal, because those road trips is like good quality time, just the two of us, and I missed out on that. To and from.
I want to ask about road trips with your significant other.
Yeah.
Who drives?
Oh, not
I
me.
love driving.
Does she spend the whole time on her phone or other devices?
She actually
can't answer.
She's never in her phone when we drive.
Really?
She's either talking to me or goes to sleep.
Well, sleep.
Yeah, she gets a lot of rest on the road.
Because my Tammy, she, it's like, oh, I can't wait. We'll really enjoy the trip together.
Yeah.
We get in the car, and the whole time I'm driving, and she's over here doing emails, and we don't talk.
If she does do that, I have to tell her, because we want to make sure she don't get a headache, right, Shauna?
Yeah, so I get a headache if I'm on my phone too much. But we listen to my phone's listening to me. We listen to podcasts, we listen to comedy shows, we talk a lot. So
we hang out.
I only sleep when it's dark. So try not to.
Cool. Well, you listen to the Triple J Sports podcast and the Blitz Break, and so of course you have to stay awake for that.
Right.
Exactly.
Great point.
Exactly.
That's no, I got to admit, I usually drive. I get car sick, and it's actually not a fake thing. Although my wife Laura will constantly challenge that, because she says it's it's a whole like male I want to drive thing.
You have to be in charge.
Like I have to be in charge, and I'm like, no, I legitimately get car sick. So I drive. My mother-in-law is quick to always let me drive. Laura will tend to kind of I think there's a slight a little irk that I drive. So occasionally she'll drive. I do enjoy driving. I like a long road trip. I
don't mind driving.
It's therapy for me.
It is. Yeah. Like I do some of my best thinking as lot of times my best conversations on the call. So, road trips are good. Did that Fresno trip a lot, during my years. Although before we get into your guys' story, I will tell a story that you will both appreciate because you knew me then. So my freshman year, as I was getting to know both of you, I remember we played Hawaii right after Christmas. So we did a Christmas Eve morning practice, and then we were now off for Christmas Eve, and I jumped in the car and I drove from Fresno to Sacramento, and I did Christmas Eve with my family, then did midnight mass, got up and did Christmas morning with presents with my younger brother. And I did not get a lot of sleep, but of course I'm a college kid and rock and roll. And then we had practice Christmas Day. I want to sometime early afternoon, and then right after practice, we were getting on a flight to go to Hawaii for a couple of days, and I had to make it back, right? So I got in the car and I drove 99 the whole way, and I got very sleepy. First time in my life at 17, 18 years old, and I fought sleeping, and I mean by fighting sleeping like the blink on 99 going the whole way. Even pulled over a couple times, did some wind sprints on the side of the road, but didn't want to be late for practice. Like, God forbid I'm late for practice as a freshman to my Fresno State practice with Coach Tark and Coach Welch, and made it all the way to Herndon, got off and was like, yes, I made it. Like, relaxed. I did it. I'm going to get there. And of course, driving down Herndon, which at that time was nothing but a straight shot and power pulls, thinking I made it, and then fell asleep at the wheel in the left lane, going down Herndon, veered over and crashed into like a 78-year-old lady who had never been in a car accident in her entire life. And promptly woke up to the collision, and then was mortified, pulled over, go through the whole thing. She's telling me how she's never been in an accident, super sweet, exchange insurance and all of that, and not a whole lot of damage, but looking back on the blessing of it is like, you know what, if she hadn't been there, I would have probably head on to power pole and probably never made it. Showed up late to practice, and of course everybody was cool with me being late with that story, but but I just told my kids that story the other day about not ever driving when sleepy, and then I told them the actual story, and my 8 and 10-year-old were like wide-eyed, like, oh my gosh, Dad, you almost died.
That was a thing.
And I'm like, remember that when you get sleepy, that your dad learned the lesson for all of us, but it was Herndon right when I was getting to know you two. So
wow, jeez, thank God for her first accident.
Right. Yeah, 78 years old. I felt like such a jerk. Like you've made it almost 80 years and nobody's hit you, and here's this punk 18-year-old driving into you.
It happens, man.
But we are excited to welcome you both to the show and to really get into the story. We for the audience here, Noel and I go way back 20 plus years at this point now to playing together at Fresno State. That's when I met his beautiful longtime wife, Shauna. And they've been on their journey. Noel, we'll get into your career a little bit, as well as your guys' journey. But as we've reconnected and you and I have had some conversations on the Triple J Sports podcast, we have also begun a collaboration with your guys' passion project and company, Give Culture, which we are all swagging.
I feel left out. I didn't get a Give T-shirt.
You got to make sure
you
that happens.
just chose not to wear it, and
you chose the sneaker.
I've not seen it.
You chose the white sneakers.
That's right.
And a white
the
tee
white
instead
beat
of
up
a give
sneakers.
shirt.
You know what? Give culture can be associated with a lot of things, but
new
those
tennis
shoes
shoes.
they cannot be associated with.
Give new tennis shoes. Yeah,
So-
I'm gonna have to get a T-shirt. I feel left out. Everybody else is.
Get your shirt. Yeah, we gotta get your shirt.
I kind of want to hear this story. How did this? What's the story with you guys?
Man, well, I mean, maybe would you like to share?
Shauna, why don't you share the story of the foundational piece of Give Culture and how it came to be, and after that, I will ask Noel to tell this audience kind of our backstory.
Yeah, sure. So it goes kind of deep, and it goes pretty far back. My husband and I, in case you haven't noticed, are a biracial couple. And we had the privilege of traveling in different places in the world. And one of the things that was most frustrating and also most discouraging is that we didn't really experience as much criticism or like negativity or like frowned upon face, like just faces and what's the word? Hate. We didn't really experience hate or unacceptance. I'm not sure the word, like not people didn't really
disapproval,
disapproval. Like we didn't experience that in other countries as much as we did at home. And so I've always kind of just been bothered by racism or hate in general. And then in 2012, Trayvon Martin, if you remember, he was a young boy who was killed in his neighborhood by Zimmerman was his last name, the night watch guy. And he had a iced tea and Skittles. And it just struck me to my core that someone could make a snap judgment or a snap opinion based on what they see with their eyes and an opinion in their mind that kid must be a threat. He must be dangerous. And I must chase after him and end his life because of what I think he looks like. And then of course, if you remember, the country like was outraged. Thank God. That's a good sign that most people just were so hurt and moved by that scenario. And I felt encouraged and inspired to create something that would motivate us to be kind to each other and to have good intentions and good instincts, snap instincts, especially in an instant towards another person, regardless of how different we may be or how different we may look or difference of religion or a difference of politics. Like I feel like people should not be so judgmental, especially at a glance. It's just not fair to judge someone based on what you see with your eyes. And that it struck me, it struck the nation, and it kind of sat with me, obviously, in my heart. Like we watched it on the news. You remember these things were on like the daily, there was people, and then the instances of unjustifiable deaths in the country just kept going and going. There was more and more instances, especially among the cops, right? So at that time, 2015 was when when he retired, and we were motivated to start something of our own that we could really pour into, because up until that point, it was just basketball, like ball is life, which is kind of funny because we're back on the ball is life journey, all these years later. But in 2015 was when I was really inspired, and ultimately like kind of addressing racism and hate and judgment head on was my main motivation for wanting to create something that would inspire people to love each other, regardless of how different we might be. So that was my why. That was in 2015. And if you remember, I don't always get to tell this story because it's fun, because we talk to kids a lot, right? But not a lot of kids remember the Got Milk campaign. Remember the Got Milk campaign? And all of a sudden it just took off. It was got burritos, got gas, at the gas station, got dirt on the mud flaps in front of you, got burrito, the Chipotle sign, right? Got Jesus. It was everywhere. And I was just inspired to create something that was similar, that was just easily recognizable, with a little bit of what I call a virtuous twist. So instead of got, we created Give Culture, which is give, give, give. So every shirt says the word give, followed by a different positive action word. because we're always giving something. We're always giving off some kind of vibe, some energy, some kind of facial expression or language. Everything we say says a lot, right? So like how we say it says a lot. So give culture is all about how you treat other people, how you are open and available to learn about people that don't look like you. Anyway, every shirt says something different. This one, it says, give patience, Phil. I see you're in your give patience shirt today. Babe, which one are you wearing today? I don't even remember what that one is. Oh, give thanks. That's it. Oh, that's that fall
I had
color.
to correct him because he had it on at an angle that it looked like give dicks, and I said that's not going to work for the show.
I'll keep pulling it down so I can
that.
I'm like this.
We're gonna have to make sure we give thanks.
No,
goodness gracious.
I like the one, because you've got a cold and you were worried about sneezing. I like the one about give germs or
just pass it on, huh? Jeez, I don't.
That's
the idea.
Probably not the positive message you're looking for.
But you creative.
That's what I was gonna say.
So
The whole idea. The whole idea is to keep it positive towards one another, especially strangers and especially people that don't look like you. And the I in give is lowercase because we put other people first. So we're always mindful and considerate of the impact that I have on your day, whether we interact for 5 minutes or 5 years. How I treat you matters to me. So this is just like an external expression of an internal commitment to love other people and to accept other people, regardless of how different we are. And regardless of how different our lifestyles are, we can still agree to mutual respect and the right treatment of one another. So that's what it's all about.
So let me ask you this. You've got this organization now and it's called Give, and then the different words.
Give culture. Yeah.
Give culture. So how does that manifest when you go and you work with kids or with schools? How does the rest of the story work?
So go ahead.
I was going to say, I would say, and you can help me out too. Babe.
Okay.
But what I would say is like we would do an assembly, and that assembly would be catered to the mission statement and word that the school would like. And so like one that comes to mind would be like give kindness. And so we would create an assembly catered to that word, what it means to be kind. And how can you do that on campus, whether it's greeting a student that just got on campus for the first time,
new people,
or you are a part of the solution and speaking up for somebody that's being bullied, or just leading with kindness, choosing to see the good in other people first. So those are kind of the lanes that we've used to let this shirt be a part of a school's environment.
So you would create all these shirts that says give kindness.
It's kind, yes.
And then all the kids would get them.
Yes.
And the message would be built around that.
Correct. Yes. And then the shirt is essentially their accountability partner on campus.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's very much like an anti-bullying tool. One of the things that we've noticed and learned with working with principals over the years is that when you do an anti-bullying assembly, oftentimes kids walk out of there hypersensitive to any negativity of any kind and calling everything bullying. And so then they're just kind of overloaded with all of these instances of kids telling on someone. Essentially, back in the 90s, right, we called it telling your tattletale, right? And sticks and stones may break my bones and words will never hurt me. Like all those things. That's a lie. First of all, words hurt very much, and principals and administrators and all with kind of the uprise of bullying, we have to accept that words hurt. And so this is very much like anti-bullying accountability. So when they get their shirt, like Noel said, it's their accountability partner. They take responsibility for their actions towards others. They stick up for the kids that are getting picked on. Like it's all about initiating and being accountable and responsible for ourselves. It's kind of a twist on anti-bullying that helps the kids to walk away feeling empowered and encouraged to not be part of the problem, but like Noel said, to be part of the solution.
Yeah. Well, the passion that you guys have behind it inspired me from the very beginning. I know Big Valley Mortgage, we've partnered with you guys, and our first connection is to use Give Value as a part of our Give Value campaign towards all of our past customers and clients, and our focus on always providing value. And the word value and what that means is different to everyone. Right. And so we think it's important to understand what that means.
But I love that. See how you just brought that up, and you have a mortgage company and you're a mortgage environment, but you have a more of a corporate culture at your job, and the words and the messages applicable there. And at a school campus for like K through 6 and 8 through 12 is all about like anti-bullying, and they focus on kindness and leadership and connect, encouragement and compassion and all these like positive, they call it sizzle words, right? So it's applicable there in the school, and it's applicable in your workplace with all adults. And so I love give culture so much because you created give value. Like that's not a word that we've used before, but I love how much it resonates with your message, your intentions in the office, your big picture purpose, and you make it your own. And the schools do the same thing. Like Noel said, they kind of pick their word according to their school values and their campus culture. And we kind of fit in, like the word is just universally applicable. And I love that so much.
That's the brilliance. That's the brilliance behind it. And I know I'm excited. We have upcoming our first of many events that we have upcoming, and we're using around Valentine's Day. And we thought about several different words, like, give love, give different things, but we decided on give heart because we felt like it had a more universal application than just one thing. Like give heart can be applied in so many ways, from giving heart to your family, to your job, to
sports,
the profession, to putting your heart and soul into something.
And heart, to add to that, I've recently started to share that heart is tied to the will. Like, what is your will? What drives you? When they say, "Oh, he got a lot of heart," it means he has a lot of will. He's pushing himself.
Grit.
And so that grit, those things are important and very valuable.
Absolutely.
Very valuable,
And so we're super excited to partner with you guys on that, and it resonated, beyond belief when you first pitched it. I remember telling you guys, like, you have something here, and the flexibility of the message and the ability to apply it to each person's, each company's, each school's, each individual's personal experience that is subjective, is such a powerful component of finding a massively universal tool, right? And a brand and a message that can apply across the board. And then certainly, looking across, and Noel and I actually just talked about this on the Triple J sports podcast we just recorded. I think your message around racism and judgment and kind of where it comes from. I'm a 6'7" white guy, and I smile a lot in advance, even though I got busted teeth from all the times all these big 7-footers have knocked them out.
Elbows.
And have
Mustafa's
Mustafa and a whole bunch of other people have knocked them out. Because I know that at 6'7", people carry a perception of intimidation of a 6'7" person in general. And if I don't smile, I represent it. That is an escalated level for a 6'9", 6'10" black guy who is not being
100%.
And
I'll tell you what,
into a room, right?
Sorry.
No, that and so that judgment piece is a part of something we are familiar with, and it is something that we were just talking about. Like, being tall and being big is something that you come across as intimidating to an audience, and you're literally forced to adapt with friendliness as a way to let people know, hey, I am not a threat. Like, your instincts, some of which are justified. We're biologically inclined to be afraid of things that are bigger than us, that can threaten us. But we just had this conversation. And so judgment is such a key component of it. And so, you touched on it. And I think creating ways to help people not only avoid judgment, but to, I would say, delay judgment and observe more is such a key piece of what this is.
Yeah. Naturally, you would observe by seeing a shirt that says something like give kindness. And if you're bold enough, you would say something in response. So like, for example, if you wore like a give patience shirt out and about and somebody's like, oh, I need that shirt, they immediately go to a response that is a positive response, and they show a level of agreement, and they don't even know the story, the background behind the shirt. And so that's some of the things that I think that is really, I would say, inspiring, because you can talk about how we can essentially have a shirt from a corporate standpoint and also to an elementary standpoint, but those individuals that understand, they make it their own, and then they have their own testimony behind the message and wearing the shirt and why they chose the word they chose. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, as you're talking, I get really, like, you always say passion. It is a passion project, especially because of how much racism really moves me. But as you're speaking, I'm reminded of instances where I've watched women, like, I'm with my husband, he's 6'9", but I'm 6'1", and we're together. And I've watched women cross the street to like cross on the other side, or I've watched white women, I should be specific, and I'm a white woman. So it's infuriating to me to watch her clutch her purse when she walks by. And so, and I understand the height factor, but like race, there's always a race factor too. And it's infuriating because everyone that knows him knows he's the gentle giant, right? But he
one
loves
of the nicest
everyone.
Human beings on the planet.
Yeah.
He loves everyone. And so he didn't say it this time. I was like, come on, babe, say it. But he said it's always an icebreaker. Like, you can see me and make a snap judgment, but if you look at my shirt, you'll know that my shirt says give hope or give kindness on it. And it immediately, you can just kind of soften and relax about your purse. He doesn't need your purse. And so I love that. And I always tell the kids, like, I'm not here to sell you shirts. I'm here to talk about the heart that's under the shirt. So if you're going to judge me, don't assume that because I'm 6'1" that I played basketball. Like, obviously I played volleyball.
and it's funny too.
And people always assume basketball. And I'm just like, you're not allowed to assume. But if you're going to assume anything about me, see my shirt and assume that my heart is good and that my heart cares about how I treat you in this moment. And so that's the message that we're trying to like spread to the world.
But to echo what you're saying though, Shauna, babe, wife, I don't even know what to call you. I'm talking to, but no, it's a lot, man. Yesterday I went to Scott Island. Scott Island is for students who are in the foster youth. So it's a place they're able to go and just hang out. We do ropes course. They cook food. We do like personality trait stuff. And one student was looking at me and she was like, you're going to beat somebody up. And I looked at, I was like, quite the opposite. I'm not fighting nobody. However, what Shauna mentioned about a person clutching their purse and crossing the street, right? I have a different perspective of it, because for me, growing up, I grew up in South Central Los Angeles, born and raised. The first time I left LA for a significant amount of time was to be a freshman in Fresno State. So my mom was one of the women that would come home, and she had to commute from East LA General Hospital and catch the bus and come to LA, about an hour, 2 hour commute daily, and she would get robbed. So when she would come home without her purse and her shirt all ripped, and I'm like, what happened? She's like, well, honey, I got robbed. And she'd go in the kitchen and cook dinner and the whole 9 yards. So like, when I do see those women that would pose me as a threat, because my stature, I'm very tall, I would see them cross the street. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I don't think to my mind, you're judgmental or racist. And I've dealt with stuff racist from people that I don't know, but my mind go to something must have happened to you that was tragic, that caused you to have that caution. And so like, I understand my wife's perspective walking with me, but I also understand the victim of being robbed, and you are overpowered by a person that's twice your size. So,
and see, there he goes. having grace for the person that was judgmental and racist and finding a nice way to say it.
Yeah. I appreciate that. And what I like about the word give, it's a call to action. It's a catalyst. So no matter, what's really cool is no matter what you put beneath it, it's a catalyst for thanks or patience or value or kindness, encouragement. So it's such a positive, and the only word that keeps coming to mind is this catalyst of changing someone's thought process. And that's
unselfish approach.
And that's why the dude goes, oh, I need that shirt, because he was probably thinking something was going on. I need patience, you know, and I need that shirt today, or I love the message. It almost invites those kind of comments.
It connects you 100%.
This catalyst of changing their mind and going, oh, I get that.
You know what, Buzz? Like, you know what? I love when you guys talk, and it just reminds me of all the amazing things that our brand has to offer to the world. But we created it initially for the person wearing it to take accountability for their attitude and their actions. But what we've learned is that it kind of holds the person that we're talking to accountable as well. Like if my shirt says give respect, you look doubly terrible if you disrespect me in my give respect shirt. You know what I'm saying? So like, and I want to be grouchy and rude, and your shirt says give kindness. I'm like, oh dang. Like, all right,
you're right. It's a double-edged sword, because if I'm wearing it, I surely don't want to go out there. If it says give kindness, I surely don't want to be being unkind. And the person that's their eyes and their brain are registering it, it would be almost impossible to go against that.
I had a buddy of mine.
We don't hit kids with, sorry.
No, you're good, babe.
I keep talking when you guys start talking.
That's fine. You're fine. Don't lose your thought though.
No, I was just going to say, it's like hitting a kid with glasses. You just don't do that. Remember all these 90s phrases keep coming to mind. Like that was just something you just don't do. And it kind of is the same way. It's an instruction for the other person as much as it's
don't hit them with glasses. That's a good point.
Don't hit anybody ever, obviously.
Don't, but no, I was going to say, a buddy of mine was arguing with his wife. And he was like, man, go. And she was like, and you're wearing a gift shirt. And it like dissolved the whole argument. Like, oh, you're wearing a gift shirt. Oh,
yeah. He goes, what does that say again? What does that say?
He had no comeback because his shirt said like give kindness.
Like complete contradiction. Well, the thing that I love about the foundational piece of it, right? Like, it's really difficult, and I think obviously brilliant to look back at the Got Milk campaign. If I'm being completely honest, I think I had a Got Vicodin shirt when I was like 19, and I don't think that was what it was intended for. So
not 19.
Yeah, like 1920. I think I had
gotta blame those teenage years.
Yeah, teenage years. That probably was not what it was intended for. But using that campaign and then recognizing that give has such a flexibility and making the I small to really make the idea of being unselfish and focusing less on self.
Yeah.
All of those things resonate. I love what you guys are doing, not only with schools and kids, and obviously, as we've talked about, very passionate about supporting that and getting you in front of that audience, in particular, corporate relationships, connecting the dots, bringing it a little back to kind of our connection. So, and kind of how this started. So, Noel, obviously, you and I connected as teammates at Fresno State.
Yeah.
And I think where this starts foundationally is a really, to me, a profound piece. I grew up self-employed parents running a business here in Sacramento, California, Athletics Unlimited. My father to this day.
Athletics Unlimited. I heard you say that in so long.
Respect and love for the fact that my dad is connected me to the sports world, and everyone that ever cheered and followed my career was probably connected to my father, my aunt, my uncle, whoever in the sporting, or my grandfather. And so I grew up in a world where, like, when I got my scholarship to play, my graduation scholarship gift was Ford Explorer Eddie Bauer that I drove down to Fresno State. And that was my upbringing. I was a Ivy League kid that got into Columbia and several other Ivy League schools that chose to go play basketball for Fresno State to play for Coach Tark.
Yep.
I had zero idea whether or not I would fit in. And as a matter of fact, I was pretty certain I wouldn't because I had the perception that I was going to go down one of two white guys on a team, Travis being the other one, and a whole bunch of guys coming from different places, guys that I knew came from neighborhoods that had gangs. We're talking blood, Crip affiliations, and an entire perception like I might get down there and like be a total outcast, like not connect at all, but I'm going to play for Coach Tark. This was the assumption that would have been a quote, I wouldn't say a judgment, but it was a fear, an insecurity. And then I get down there and it was the 180-degree opposite, right? It was connecting with all of you guys. It was connecting with, a list of names from Damon Jackson and Travis DeManby and Hiram Fuller and Melvin Eli. And Mustafa Al-Sayed and Chris Jeffries and you and was that
Swillis too,
and Swillis and Demetrius Porter and to this day I tell people some of the greatest human beings I've met in my lifetime, and backgrounds all the way the opposite of mine. Like I grew up in Inglewood, having conversations with Teddy Fletcher, like you talk about being Inglewood, a blood. Why the hell would you join a gang, dude? Well, here's the reasons you would. In the neighborhood I grew up in, like learning and getting exposed to an entire world that was like privileged white kid growing up in Carmichael, California, going to Jesuit high school, now in this world. And what you guys are representing on a brand is a perfect example of had I carried those judgments and let them affect my willingness to be exposed to what the truth was, I very well could have come across that entire thing totally differently. But what I ended up finding out was the complete opposite of what my assumptions were. And
would have blocked your blessings.
Without a doubt. And the type of guys that not only I got to play with you and the others and the coaching staff changed my life forever. And so I think, going back to kind of that experience and a little bit of how we connected, sports is a great place to kind of expose what this brand is all about and what brought you guys together. And obviously you mentioned Shauna volleyball, and you get a collision of cultures and people from all different places that join somewhere and then have one mission or one thing in common and then are allowed to connect. Talk a little bit about that and how it shaped you guys, because I think so many people that struggle with not being able to really understand how to kind of interact and adapt, many of them lack having gone through an experience where they are forced to interact in an environment like that. So, and sports is such a valuable tool, obviously.
So I would say this. That's a great question. I would say for me, I was I have a lot of compassion for my son Roman, because I wonder sometimes, being 6'8" at 15, I mean, like, he doesn't care for the looks all the time. He's a good looking kid too. So it's like, we're walking out of the gym from one game and this girl's like, I would love me some ramen noodles. I was like, she's talking about you, Roman. I want some Roman noodles. I'm like,
Roman noodles.
So we're walking to the car. And so, but I was a very quiet when I was younger. And I had to deal with a lot of culture clashes in high school. One of them was my freshman year. I went to Belmont High. It was predominantly Hispanic. I played basketball at lunch. I didn't even play my freshman year. I played at the tryout. I was the best player. And I was like, I'm just going to play on the blacktop. So I played at the blacktop, had a little crowd. Then I left there, went to Cathedral, all boys school. I played there my first year of varsity, played the whole year, got my first dunk in a game and all that. And then my junior year and senior year, I went to Inglewood High School. And the culture difference was from a predominantly Hispanic, private kind of like Catholic school to Inglewood, where it's only about sports, only about basketball, leave at a certain time. I mean, I went to the local Subway and there was a guy laying outside his apartment, shot in the leg, waiting on the police, the paramedics, and nobody helped him. And I'm walking the Subway like, oh my God, this guy is laying here, shot, waiting on the paramedics. And so like those experiences, it was really hard for me. Then I went to Fresno State and it was a whole different level of culture. Basketball was a huge deal and everybody was about the sport in the community. So I had all these different clashes. And what I've learned was that like, for me, what can I control is just trying to present myself in a way to say, I'm just here to learn. I'm just here to learn about you. I'm just here to learn about you. So where that helped me down the line was as a professional, my first professional opportunity, other than going to play with the Phoenix Suns with Joe Johnson at the time. Mike D'Antoni was my coach. He told me you would have a great opportunity if you played in Italy. Then I got an offer to go play in China. But in China, it was nobody that looked like me. So if I went somewhere and went to go eat, walk around, people will look at me whether I liked it or not. And so I learned how to be even more comfortable in my skin. So you go less than 5 years prior, I'm at Inglewood High School, like, don't nobody talk to me. Don't nobody talk. I just want to play basketball, go home. So walking around China, like, okay, I'm here. You can look. I'm fine. You know, I even had one of my teammates. He got tired. What are you looking at? And I'm like, they don't even understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
So that experience kind of helped me
but that was more of a oddity than a judgment, wasn't it?
No, it was an oddity more than a judgment. So much like, so when I took my kid Roman, when we went to Taiwan, they would touch his hair and all those things.
Yeah.
So like I had to learn how to be comfortable in my skin no matter what. I had to learn how to be present and comfortable and open to other cultures. So that's where Give Culture was something where I felt like I could take this and run with it because I've seen so many different experiences. At that point, when we started the brand, I saw most of the world at that point. So I was able to see different cultures, different people do different things and find a way to appreciate it and take some stuff to keep for myself. So that a lot of the things that I've learned, it allowed me to present myself in a way where it's like, I'm just here to help and serve you in any way I can, you know?
Yeah. And I was going to add, like, when it comes to sports, I feel like it's such a unique opportunity to connect with people that are not like you and that maybe don't come from the same background as you. And they get the unique experience of having a coach, which is also one of the most valuable positions that a person can take on because that's additional leadership and inspiration even after your teacher that you've been with all day. So you're thrust into a group of kids that are all unique and all different, especially with the world of mental health now too. Like a lot of kids go through a lot of things and sports is the place that they get to have an outlet, you know, so you have compassion for people that go through things at home that you don't necessarily go through. And it gives you maybe a different gratitude or a different perspective on life. And I feel like all parents should put their kids in some sport. Like I played soccer. I was telling my kids the other day, because Noel and I are very committed to not like forcing sports on them. But I do want them to try all the things and do all the things. And I was telling my kids that I played soccer for the majority of my youth and didn't touch volleyball till 8th grade. And then like, you know, if you got it, you got it. Right. So I just kind of right away, coaches knew. I was going to have that potential, the D1 potential. Like someone said, you could play D1. And I was like, what's D1? Like I had no clue, right? Like what that even meant. So they picked me up quick, but then you're thrust into a group of individuals, like you said, with a common goal. And so you get to kind of mute the outside noise and just agree on a common path and a common goal when you're with sports. And like then the things that come from the outside world and even come from their parents, like the hate and racism and anger and bitterness, some of those things that are baked into our elders, we have the opportunity to reject because we know people and play with people and have experiences with people every day that look like the ones that you're judging every person that looks this way, and you're so completely wrong. And so it kind of gives us, and I say us now, like I'm still an athlete, like I'm so grown now, but as an athlete, I was able to, like Noel, just experience lots of different kinds of people. And like you, Phil, like I've always been with all the athletes, female athletes, and none of us look the same, so I appreciated the opportunity to open up and get to know new people and new cultures and new lifestyles and all people eat all kinds of different food. And so sports is a unique opportunity to just experience all the different melting pot people of the world. So it's really cool. And I encourage people to put their kids in sports. And a lot of times we talk to young athletes, especially Noel and myself, being former athletes, we get invited to speak to young athletes a lot. And I remind them that every day you wake up and you go to practice and you practice your sport, you get better. You want to hone in on your skills. You want to push yourself. You want to get stronger, bigger for a reason, for the game, for the playoffs, for the championship, whatever. Like life is very much the same. Like every day that you wake up, you have a decision on who you're going to be. Like today is practice for who I'm going to be tomorrow. Or today is practice for who I'm going to be in that next difficult situation that I'll encounter in a year from now. And today is practice for what kind of mom I'm going to be. Like, I didn't love my parenting story. We both, my husband and I both have rough parenting stories, but we both took on full accountability and have maximized our opportunity to be the parents that we wish we had. So these young kids, every day is an opportunity to practice who you're going to become. And that's not limited to youth. It's not limited to athletes. It's kind of universal, a truth. We all practice every day on being our best self, or we could practice being a jerk every day, like whatever you put the work into, you're going to get better at.
I work with a guy who's like constant jerk all the time.
Well, what I like about sports is it is the big equalizer.
Yeah.
Especially as it comes to race, and it is a true, it doesn't matter, the talent rises and the fans, you're not a fan of a race. You're not a fan of you're a fan of the game and a person playing it. And so I think it is so good for society. It's good for kids to be in that environment, because it is a true, what you put in is what you'll get out. And if you don't put anything into it, if you don't practice, if you have a bad attitude, you won't have the fans.
Right.
Look at some of the players, whether they're, it doesn't matter what sport, baseball, football, basketball, the people that have horrible personalities, they don't have the fan base. It doesn't matter what race they are. And the people that don't put in the work, who that aren't good, they don't get the fans. They don't get it. And again, it doesn't matter. You look back and you're going, well, I'd have to think for a minute. My favorite football player was so-and-so. Well, I guess, they were this or that, but it wasn't something you thought about.
Right.
You loved them because they elevated themselves and did something that, nobody else could do.
Right. Well, like Michael Jordan.
Michael changed the game. And I think the thing that Noel, you touched on that I think is really key, and I've always been big on this, like emotional intelligence is one of the greatest indicators of not just an ability to be a coach or a leader, but as one of my former teammates, now head coach at UC Riverside, stated, and I've been now repeating over and over, it's one of the greatest indicators of success is emotional intelligence, right? And your ability to possess that. Being able to evaluate situations and recognize people's behavior is 99.99% driven by past and prior experiences.
For sure.
And the things that they have been through. And to be able to carry an element of both compassion, understanding, and therefore a corresponding strategy on how to either combat or address what may be the baggage being brought into that situation is one of the strongest aspects of emotional intelligence that you can bring as a leader, as a coach, as a teammate, as a anything in life, and give culture and what it represents outwardly is an opportunity to attack that up front. So whatever my pre-existing scars are with something and pre-existing judgments that may come from valid traumas and scars I carry, because everyone has them. When you exhibit things that show what I stand for, it's like a weapon against that trigger kicking in, right? Like give kindness, give this, is an immediate opportunity to assume you're not the thing that I maybe previously had a trauma that has scarred me for, or like it. And there's power in that. I mean, if I've been, not to be too morbid with it, but if I've been in a physical altercation with somebody that looks a certain way and I immediately cross paths with someone that looks that way, it's instinctive that my body is going to have a physical reaction that is commensurate with what I went through. And having that can help me to combat that. And being able to acknowledge that as a person, like Noel just did, is huge, because what spirals is this experience leads to that experience, and it's a whole bunch of reactions based on prior experiences that all escalate and everybody's affected. But emotional intelligence and the ability to give people grace based on the fact that they may have had an experience leading them into what their initial reaction is one of the most powerful like habit or system breaking things. And I think this, again, like I've told you guys, I think it's a really powerful way to send a message up front.
But you said system breaking things, and that's something that's important, because when you control your behavior, emotional intelligence, it can save you from a lot of things that can cost you your freedom, embarrass you, a lot of things that can set you back. That's why with the younger generation, it's so important for us to help them understand something along the lines of like, okay, all of you guys come here, you deal with a lot, your attention deficit is taken back a little bit because you're overstimulated with the phone and social media and all these things. You have an abundance. We talked about this. You have an abundance of options. But when it comes down to what you can control, what do you lead with? Do you lead with cyberbullying, cutting people down, or do you lead with bigging people up? And to me, the reason why our company is something that every time you turn on the news, we think about what we can do to make it different. What can we do to make it better? Because if we stay on the path of only focusing on things that make us feel to cause division, all the way to black and white, all the way to certain politics, to cause that division in society, it makes it harder for us to have peace as a nation. Because at the end of the day, peace is the most important thing we can accumulate and have. And when you have on a shirt that say give kindness, you are choosing something to be the solution to anybody you cross with wearing a shirt to say give kindness, or give encouragement, or give hope, or give a heavy one, give forgiveness. Something that a lot of people struggle with, that we haven't even made a shirt for that yet. But my point in saying what I'm saying is that it touches so many levels of people that can be distracted on things that can cause you to go out there and be harmful.
Absolutely. Well, and I mean, let's talk. I mean, forgiveness is like one of those ones that people talk about forgiveness as it relates to forgiving the other person, but really what forgiveness does is allow you to heal and allow you to move forward and approach life without that burden of whatever it is you're carrying. It's free. It's a freeing personal thing, and it's you know, there are environments where it's talked about that way, but I think the average person that struggles with it carries it as something that they think they're giving to someone else as opposed to something they're giving to themselves.
Correct.
And how it helps them. But, you know, I think the message of give culture and the power and the collaborative design and your passion behind all the ways that people can get involved is really important, and something I want to make sure we really hit on. We've partnered with you guys, and what we're doing with our clients as a part of our Give Value campaign is to constantly be giving value, and that it comes in a multitude of ways to our customers, our referral partners, our clients, our loan officers, our team, our staff, and to have a mindset that is just fundamentally based in giving. And it's foundational all the way back to our founding premise and the individual that started this thing 35 years ago, Kurt Reisig, and I think it aligns so well. You guys have partnerships and relationships with schools. Obviously, Noel's story, and I think I'd be remiss to not highlight. I mean, throughout your professional basketball career, you've played overseas in a multitude of countries, but you've shared locker rooms and teammates with some of the most amazing legends in the game, from the Ray Allens to the LeBron Jameses of the world. And you have a journey that is a reflection of not just talent, but perfectly suited to stand by what you and Shauna are doing, which is, as far as human beings go, no two finer human beings on this earth.
Well, I appreciate you saying that.
And so we feel very honored to be able to partner with you guys. And what I, want to encourage our audience here, companies, there's a lot of, real estate and mortgage professionals that watch this show, individuals. There are a multitude of ways you can get involved with Give Culture, all the way down to getting on the website, purchasing shirts that fit your focus, your words, your brand, color scheme. There are corporate relationships, school relationships. We are going to post from here on our site, and we'll provide more information with different ways you guys can get involved. And for all of our clients, you will see more coming from the Give Culture and Give Value campaign. But if what you guys see and hear inspires you, we want to make sure you have the connection and the contact information for Shauna and Noel, and that you guys can get involved.
Can I say one more thing, Phil, before you shut it off?
Please do.
Because you guys were talking like, it's all very, it's funny because I do this so much every day, all the things, and all the way down to some of the bigger orders that I have that we maintain, like I package it all up. So, but I don't often get to like broadcast it to the people that your people. So I don't want to stop giving you all my thoughts. But when you're talking, and you were talking about your personal experiences and your personal triggers maybe rubbing off on someone else, some unassuming random stranger that you encounter. It's not fair to hit them with your triggers and your traumas. And one of my pastors always says, like, try not to bleed on people that didn't cut you. And so I always take that with me when I think about my interactions too. Like, even if this person looks like somebody that hurt me, they're not that person, right? So for the first time ever, I kind of saw my shirt as like just a white flag. Like, it's just like this is surrender over here. It's all love over here. You know, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to disrespect you, you know, and it reminded me of one of the intentions built in that I haven't shared yet. So give culture is written, like the give in give culture is written really big across the chest so that it's recognizable from a distance, kind of like how Got Milk had the lowercase g and it was very like brand like. It was very recognizable. And so give culture is written really big across your chest so that you can see it and you can identify a give shirt from clear across the room. And then the positive action word is written smaller so that it might encourage positive interactions between two people that may not otherwise cross paths, like may not otherwise interact. So we could just walk right by each other and not even notice one another. But the shirt becomes something that we have in common. So I could be 6'1" and you're 5'2", and I'm, you know, I look like this and you look like that, but immediately we have a heart posture in common if we both understand give culture well. And so I wanted to share the intentionality behind the actual logo itself is to make sure that it's noticeable from a distance so that we can kind of spot and locate like-minded, like-hearted individuals that are willing to interact and lead with love and positivity towards one another, regardless of our different stories. And so I just appreciate you guys having us and giving us the opportunity to share the fullness of the brand. And I love that it's universal across many different stages, your job all the way down to a kindergarten classroom, because no one really knows what another person goes through when they get home. And so sometimes we are the only positive interaction that person might have all day long. So we try and make sure to keep it positive all the time so that at least our interaction was positive in this crazy divided world that we live in. So I really appreciate the opportunity to share and to, just explore different options. And for anyone that gets involved, like you guys, we put your logo on the sleeve. So it's a little bit of a brand collaboration, like your people get involved with our message, and the schools identify themselves on the sleeves too. You know, a lot of schools out here are like, oh, you go to such and such school? Well, I go to such and such, like, but when we can have the shirt in common and still represent our unique school and our unique mascot, and still all have all this big melting pot of love and mutual respect for each other. So thank you so, so much for taking the time to put a highlight on what we do in the world. Appreciate it.
Amazingly put. And I think that's the big key, the co-branding concept of being able to collaborate. And we're doing that with you with Big Valley and with Triple J Studios and, moving forward. And, I'm a big believer when we sat down and Buzz knows this, and when I decided to start Triple J Studios, I had a vision that came through a dark time that personally, and most athletes when their career ends go through a who am I identity crisis, like really not knowing what you are, where you stand. A lot of the things you're used to having handed to you or the way people look at you change, and your routine changes, and it can be dramatic. I was lucky enough to end my career, and at the same time I met my wife, and then kind of move right into that and pour everything into that. And so I don't think I really went into my who am I until I was in my 40s. So call it a midlife crisis or call it whatever you want.
Midlife
I didn't
adventure.
know who the hell I was when I was 40 years old, given what was going on in my life. But what reconnected me to really what made me successful and what was my foundation was reconnecting with Noel and a whole slew of my teammates that had been a part of the foundation of who, I hate saying it in the third person, but who Phil Rasmussen was, like who made me the father and husband and professional that I was. And that to me was a really special moment. And so when Triple J Studios was launched, I realized through those conversations that a lot of my teammates had now gone on and finished their careers, and there was a lot that I could do for them and they could do for me together, and that we'd reached a point in our careers where we could collaborate and do something special together and support, because we all came from these different backgrounds and we all had these different things that we were doing, and we could find ways to support each other.
Totally.
And we all want to win, Phil. We all want to win,
right? And
we still want to win.
On the mortgage side, like I looked at it as a part of, like, I got into mortgage and everyone wants and needs to live in a home and build memories with a family. And we have a campaign we're building with you around what it means and what a home is and what that stands for, that really resonates with me, and what I think of when I think of home, right? And
memories
are all, that's what a home is all about, right? And so, we're excited to launch that with you, and I think it's really, really special to me to be able to, again, offer this. I really want to encourage companies. You guys are out to grow. Make this your own. So companies out there, real estate, independent clients, all of that, make this brand your own. I want to support Give culture and you guys in your growth. And I want to also, kind of tie in that, like, the part that hit me was that, everybody wants to own a home and everybody wants to form memories, right? All of us have this journey. We have kids and all these things that were a part of our selfish journey of growing up instantly change when we meet our significant other. A little bit of our selfishness drops and we become a little less selfish. Although we're still selfish because it's about wanting to make sure we get this person that we've decided is our person. And then we have kids and it's like everything changes and we want our families to have this home. And for my career in lending and leading mortgage companies, and I know I can speak for Buzz with this, the greatest joy we give is the ability to give people an opportunity to move into homes and make memories and to build a lifetime of memories is what life is about. And so the collaboration with you guys for us is just a perfect fit. And we want to help not only all of our clients with that and our partners with that. We want to really make sure that everyone here following knows Give can become a part of a brand that fits your journey, and we will provide that information. So grateful to both of you for being here.
Thank you.
Inspired by you both. Thank you for loaning me your husband for a few hours while you were sick.
I'm jealous. It's okay. It's okay.
And we're grateful.
Myself
she didn't want to drive to Sacramento anyway.
This smart lady, especially if you're tired.
In the fog.
Buzz, any final questions or thoughts, my friend?
It's been so nice meeting you guys and being part of this. And we are building something that I think that's going to be a great advantage for our company is to create that extra value. On the finance side, we're filming this kind of midweek. We are probably right now our interest rates are a little bit higher than what we started the week. It's not been a really pleasant week on the finance side. They made the announcements of who Trump really wants to be the next chairman of the Fed. He's well liked. He's He's a good guy, but they're still trying to figure out where that's going to go. We have really what's going on right now is that for interest rates, and a lot of people don't understand this, but for interest rates to really be forced down, things have to be going wrong with the economy. Mm-hmm. If things that are bad for the economy are typically great for interest rates, think about COVID and when, how bad that was for the economy, and interest rates were extremely low. Mm-hmm. But then as we get out of COVID, interest rates have to go back up. So this idea that what's bad for the economy is good for interest rates. So in our world, we look at these reports, and the stuff that's really kind of bad for the economy right now is all of the unemployment or let's just say overall employment numbers, not good. But then you look at other things that says this economy is strong. Yeah. The S&P has hit over 7,000 for the first time in history. We've set all these records in the stock market. Manufacturing numbers this morning came in for the first time in, 5 or 6 years, showing expansion in manufacturing here in the United States. So there's this battle going on between us going, we need bad economy numbers for interest rates to be pushed down, but we also want the economy to do well. Yeah. So a lot of it has to do with inflation, and that's what we're battling right now. So it's going to be an interesting year to see how this all plays out. But the economy still seems to be strong, still be clicking along, and so it's going to be a balancing act of whether we can actually get interest rates down or not. But that's all that I've got from the financial side of things, and I'm really excited about hooking up with you guys. And our first event is coming up Friday the 13th, which is weird for celebrating Valentine's.
Love.
By the way, the Fresno United Skates has the coolest. When we connected with them, we were like, "Oh, this is like the coolest skating rink." They've got
they've done a good job with it. And I was going to tell you, we have we're not sure. Sorry, it's maybe off topic, but we won't know our schedule exactly for that day until playoff lineups drop, and so I will be there in person at the Clovis location. Hopefully we will both be there, if possible. Hopefully. I really hope. As soon as you said you were launching in Fresno too.
Yeah. Do they make it?
I tried it, man.
Listen.
I aged like 60 years trying to stand the skates.
When you're 6'9", when you fall, you're falling from a distance.
Yeah.
You know what I love about this?
That's when you preserve your dignity with your own children and don't let them see you.
Yeah, you don't go out and
let them see him, because he's good at literally everything. And
you gotta be like 7'3" or something.
Yeah, I'm way up there. Like, oh my gosh.
But when I called and I found out all their all the different things that they do, like the Jason, the Freddie or the Jason pictures, and then they had all this stuff.
Yeah.
Our Fresno team were like, "Hey, this is a no-brainer. We got to do this too. Plus, you guys are down there. We're scaling it." So we've got our Roseville event here at Roller King.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
And then our United Skates in Fresno coming up, and we will be live with Give Heart shirts in heather red to our participants. Sweet. And we are super excited to launch the brand with you guys. Sweet. And it's the beginning of what will be a fantastic relationship and an opportunity to introduce you to as many companies and people out there. And again, if you are inspired, want to know more, we will put the information into not only the episode, but we will continue to put it in our shorts all throughout social media, and the contact information for Shauna and Noel at Give Culture. And you guys can reach out, corporate, individual, personal, event, you name it. They've got it. Make this your own. And we are beyond thrilled to have had an opportunity. And I would just like to say I'm lucky that I was fortunate enough to play with this guy to get an early start on it. So thank you both for being here. Shauna, thanks for hanging in.
Good job, babe. You hung in there.
Yep.
Not
you.
one cough,
I'm going
not one
straight to
honesty.
bed.
No sneezing, no coughing.
I didn't get anything.
She gave no germs.
It might have been a ploy. Could have been a ploy. She might have had. Maybe she's got a surprise for you for Valentine's coming home.
Perhaps.
Perhaps.
No.
I don't know.
He's got a surprise for me.
There you go.
Right.
And my guy Noel. Hey man, appreciate you, my dude.
No doubt, bro. Always.
Thank you
always,
guys so much.
Always.
I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Yep.
And
course.
that has been an episode of the Blitz Break. We are wrapped. We hope you enjoyed the episode. We'll provide all the links and the contacts. If you haven't had it, caught the invitation, Friday the 13th, United Skates in Fresno, Roller King here in Roseville. Come and join. Skate night on us. And Big Valley Mortgage, Give Culture. Come enjoy it. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your week. Thanks for joining, and we'll catch you next week.